What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of July 2nd. We have a great lineup of games, some small box games, some big box games, and I'm excited to tell you all about them. Let's get this video going right away. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Keep that in mind. If a game's release date is changed, I will make sure to update you of that change in its new respective release week and its new video as well. Let's get these games showcased, right? First things first, coming out this week is going to be Wandering Towers by Capstone Games. So this is a game that has been talked about a lot. I've seen gameplay of it over at Gamma. I've seen it at Origins. I think there were some at Origins as well. And yeah, Wandering Towers. So basically you're playing as a wizard. You're trying to get all your wizards to school, essentially, to a tower, a black tower. And when you're getting there, your goal is to get all your wizards there, as well as flipping your potions. By doing that, you're going to be moving these towers. And the towers look like so. So if you look at the bottom there, these two towers, you're going to be able to move those and stack them on top of other wizards. And as you do that, you're kind of capturing and trapping their magical energy. And the magical energy translates into your potion bottles, which you want to flip. You want to do two things to win the game. Flip your potion bottles and have all your wizards reach that black tower you see that's in the bokeh in the back here. It's out of focus. That's your goal. And everyone's trying to do the same thing. So as you're doing that, you're going to be moving your wizards as well as moving these towers. It's a little bit like a fun puzzle in a way where, like, you also have a little bit of memory thing going on. It's like a memory challenge where you could be moving your wizards, moving them all about, and then all of a sudden you just forgot where one of your wizards could have been. It could have been under the tower, this tower, that tower, different towers. You're trying to be the first one to race to that section. You have different little spell cards as well that you do. You activate your potions, and as you're doing so, you can have little effects or things that happen massively. It just depends and varies between the cards. The game is pretty interesting. I love how it's just like it provides a really fun, interesting challenge that I don't think I've seen done before yet. I don't think I've seen it yet, and it could have been done already, but that's just my personal experience so far. Yeah, you're going to be trying to get your wizards there, and it's really, really cool. The whole stacking of the towers is really neat and really engaging on the table when you're looking at it, as well as you have to pay attention. You forget where your wizards are at, and you now have to figure that out as you play, while someone is already racing to get their wizards in the black tower. They're doing so probably more efficiently than you are. And this is actually an example here that I wanted to show you from this tower here. It gets really wild and massive as, like, the more players you have and the more wizards on the board. You're just trying to memorize where everything's at, as well as if you're trying to be a little bit of a power gamer, memorizing where everyone else's wizards are at as well. The Wandering Towers honestly looks like a really cool game. Like I said, it's a little solid bit of gameplay, Gamma and Origins, and I think it's going to be a fun one. A fun, just little, like, family style game you're going to have at home to play with your family, your kids, or even friends who are just new to board games. That's going to be Wandering Towers. That is going to be released this week. Let's move on to the next game by Hachette and Gur Games. I have no clue. It's Gur or Gree. I'm not sure. I think it's Gur. I might be wrong, but Rauha is coming out this week. So this is actually one by Gur Games. I have no clue, and I'm going to mistake this so much. Gur Games is also released Nidavellir, as well as the other expansions, in collaboration with Hachette, of course. Rauha is going to be an engine building style game with a little bit of set collection, grid coverage, and some comboing. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit to tell you a little more about what's going on here, because it does really have some interesting boards, like what it looks like and how it looks on the table. Really interesting stuff. You're going to have your little dude here, a little meeple, and as you move the meeple, you're going to have to previously line up cards here that have different symbols that activate once you move. For example, he's going to go on the moon. And the next phase is going to go on this little section here, this little section here, and the top section on the top. So there's little columns, and also the rows it's going to go through, and it's going to be activating all those as you're kind of building a little engine out to try to activate those things to have big power plays in collaboration with your deity, they're all different, have different abilities. Excuse me. So might as well, coming down here, you're going to see these symbols here. There's spores who are going to be activated depending on the phase of the game as well. The game has beautiful artwork. I was looking at the artwork, and I think that's one of the most impressive things for me, as well as the table presence. I mean, the game looks incredible on the table, and the way it plays looks pretty thinky. Your goal is to obtain the most victory points, and you do that with life energy. And like I said, you do that with activating different combos on your board, and you have to play it out with ages as well. You have a vegetation age with terrain and wildlife appear, and then age 2 civilization, where you're going to be thriving with working with the civilization, try to get more life energy points. The game is interesting. One of the games that I think I really want to try this one really bad. And I think this is like one that it's going to take me a while to figure out when I play it as well. Only because it just seems like it has so much strategy. And I am really, really curious to dive in and explore how that works. This is going to be Rauha by Hachette in collaboration with QVO Games, coming out this week. Let's move on to the next one. Yokai Sketch by QVO Games. This game is going to be coming out this week as well, and it's going to it's going to be part of the Pocket Collection that QVO has been releasing, as well as Yokai Sketch it's part of the same realm as Bitoku and Bamboo. Yeah, the same realm, different game, of course, and different play. Yokai Sketch is more like a dueling game for 2 players, and it's going to be a game where you're going to have a lineup of cards in the middle, your yokai cards, right? They're going to be the numbers here, 7, 4. I want to see a better example. I guess it's going to be the best one we have here. So 7 and 4, right? You're going to have all the yokais lined up, and you're going to have these cards in your hand, which are the ones that have the 2-sided colors as well as a little symbol in the middle here. These cards, you're going to use to put them down. So for example, this 4 here is going to have if you have 4 browns in comboing with your enemy player, the other player, you're going to have a maximum of 4. Once you have 4, you can collect that card. When you collect it, a little bit of set collecting going on when you collect them, and it's going to be worth X amount of points, so 4 points. The whole thing of the game is that when you're playing, it plays really fast. It's supposed to be a quick game you're playing, and you're going to be playing the cards, and you're going to try to kind of like figure out, okay, like, are they playing 2 cards or 3 cards here? So I can maybe put my purple card. If they already have 4, if they have 5 cards, I can put my 2 purples and nab this 7 here. If they have 3 browns, I can put my 1 brown and nab that brown and have it to be mine. It's a little bit like going back and forth and matching out the colors with colors and trying to kind of pinpoint at what moment is it good to play a card to try to nab those points from them. It's supposed to be like a really quick and easy game to play. I dig that, and this has become so popular in like the whole board game industry, like small pocket collection games or like games that play fast. I've noticed that people tend to gravitate more to those type of games nowadays. However, I do love my medium like heavy games, but I also do love a small game as well, like a light game to play. I've been seeing a lot of those smaller games. Like it's really neat to be able to get like just be in like a game comes in a box, maybe for like presents, right? You can't just sell a bag of cards at a board game store or like a shop, right? Or hobby shop. You can't just sell a bag of cards. So to come in the box, of course, but however, you can literally just grab the box, get rid of it, and put it on a little baggie, put it in your purse, put it in your carry-on bag, and take it with you wherever you go. This game basically is a perfect example of that. It's literally just cards. And it seems to provide a very fun, quick game to play multiple times back to back over and over again. Yokai Sketch, pretty interesting game. I dig it, and I hope to get to try it or play it once, or pick up a copy if I find one. Yokai Sketch coming out this week by QVO Games, part of their Pocket Collection. Coming up next, CMYK. I have no clue if that's how you pronounce the publisher's name. We're going to go with that for now, just so I don't try to butcher it and mispronounce it even more. This is coming out on July 6th. Lacuna, a cozy game of mystical geometry. QVO Games. This game looks beautiful on the table. I want to see this picture. Look how awesome that looks. I don't know. It looks gorgeous with like the little play mat. And then you're going to be, when you set up the game, you're going to be pouring out all those little flower meeple tokens onto the board. And it just gives so much table presence. I love how those look. They look gorgeous. Imagine those like in little pins and stuff. Look at that. That's awesome. Game's pretty straightforward. You're going to be placing your little tokens here, right? It's a 2-player game as well. And when you place your token, you're going to be able to draw a line in between that token to other flower tokens, and your whole goal is to have the most of each flower. So if you have the most blue, the most yellow, the most red, the most orange, if you have the most, right? Or if the enemy player has the most green, purple, blue, and you have the most yellow, red, black, white, more of the different colors, that's kind of the goal in the sense. But the gist of the game is you're going to be putting down your token here, your pawn here. You're going to draw lines in between the flowers, and they have to be the same color. And as you do that, you pick them up, you add them to your section, and then after you put all your pawns down, it's going to come down to whoever is closer. Whoever's pawn's closest to a flower, you can pick that one up. It even includes a ruler. So that's why they call it a little bit of geometry going on. Pretty cool. I do enjoy also the fact that they're using like a cylinder box. I don't know why, but it seems we have like a lot of squares and boxes and rectangles, so that just really impresses me sometimes when it's like a cylinder box. Nothing major or anything about the game, is just an aesthetic for me. And I just love that about when games try to push, when publishers try to push like just different things and trying to get like different things going on. We have a lot of square boxes, so it's cool to see different types of packaging coming into play when they're selling or packaging their game up. Game is going to be really simple. Extremely simple game. If you're into those cozy, simple games, you have like maybe like a child or someone who's trying to get into board games, just want to ease them into it, I feel like Lacuna is a really good for that. You basically just win by collecting the most flowers in the most color. That's really it. And you place a pawn. You measure. You just make sure it's a straight line. You take your 2 coins. You take 2 pawns. 2 pieces that you made the line with, and then you find out who has the most after that with a couple more actions to go after there. So Lacuna is really simple, straightforward. Coming out July 6th, and it's going to be by CMYK. Coming up next by Renegade Games is going to be Robo Rally, coming out July 6th. So this game is like a redone. They kind of redid it. The Robo Rally came out a while back ago, and they kind of revamped it with like better miniatures, better looking board, better artwork, a better rule book, and it's a programming game. This game was one of the ones that I believe it was like really close to making like my top 10 most anticipated games. It got knocked down, even though every game is really close, like extremely close, and not even like sometimes ranking that was really difficult. I think I mentioned that a couple times. Robo Rally is the game that almost made the list, and I am really excited to play this game. Robo Rally is going to be a game where you're programming your robots trying to race. It's a racing game. When you're racing, you're trying to get to different checkpoints. Checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, and you do that by programming your actions. And different things happen because as you program your actions, your other players are also going to be programming their actions, and you might kind of interloop a little bit and mess each other up as you program. That's kind of the gist of the game. There's upgrades. You can damage enemies. When you damage your other players, other robots, player robots, that sounds kind of weird to say, you're going to also rewire them essentially. You're not really going to defeat them. They're going to be out of the game. They come back in. That kind of sucks if you're kind of kicked out of the game. A cool thing about the game though is that it comes with different ways to do different boards. And for example, the boards are fully customizable. You can make your own board, like make your own race, completely wacky loony race, but they also come with a lot of variants in the rulebook. In the rulebook, you can actually have different type of maps going on. So they have a billion example, a million, well, not a million. They have like almost like 20 or 10 different ways to set up the board. And as well as you can customize and make your own, which is actually really fun and exciting. The little miniatures actually I like a lot. These are really neat. I like how they look, the little robot miniatures. I don't know if I think I was really attracted to other robot miniatures as well. Like I like robot miniatures, like wacky looking robots. I think they look really cool. Robo Rally is more like a family style racing game. That's really the gist of the game. If you're looking to play a game with a little bit of programming going on, which includes a little bit, I think the programming can sometimes be a little difficult, only because you really got to plan out your moves. It makes you think a little more, which is really neat. Robo Rally is a racing game, and it's coming out July 6th by Renegade Games. We are at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that to the 10th degree. I love it. I love when you watch all my videos all the way through. It just makes me know I'm doing a great job, and you're getting some value out of this, which is what the whole point of the video is for. This video is for you guys to be informed of what's coming out this week, as I don't think many people are doing that. So we can kind of get the word out. You can know what's coming out. I also love it because I'm also informed, so I can talk about games all the time. Be like, oh yeah, I know this game's coming out. I know about this game. It helps me too. So it's kind of like a double whammy. I get to inform you. I do the work and the research, and I also get to inform myself, which is always great. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what we're doing here, if you don't mind dropping a like or a subscribe, that would be awesome. Let me know in the comment section what game you're picking up. It doesn't have to be a game that I mentioned this week. It could be a game you've been saving up for, or maybe one that you have already planned, or if you pre-ordered it, it's coming out this week. I love talking about games. I love talking to you guys. So that would be awesome if you could do that. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great one.